Hi everyone, and welcome to the Archimedes Principal Lab as part of your lab kit for this semester. In front of you, we have different items that will be needed for this lab. Don't worry if they're not the same as the ones you have at home, as, for example, the salt. Regular table salt will do just fine. So we have an electronic scale, cup, wood dowel, brass mass, aluminum mass, string, thermometer, salt, and then if needs be, I'll be using scissors for this experiment. So let's follow through the procedure one at a time. Procedure number one, we are going to be using this scale. I will turn it on. I will tare it. And I will go through the settings because I would like to set this to grams. So it's at 0.00 grams. It's been tared. Measure the mass of the wood block. Measure the mass of the brass piece. And measure the mass of the aluminum. Record those values. We have our cup, styrofoam cup, and off camera, I'm going to refill that up with an amount of water, say about 3/4 full. Tare this measurement. So now this reads 0.00. I'm going to take mass 1 and a little bit of string. I'll cut that off. Tie the brass mass to the string. And I will cut off that little bit of extra that's not needed. For this purpose, we'll note that the brass is much more than the string, and if anything, the string is just going to be accounting for the air in the lab. We're going to hold it and completely submerge that brass into the cup. And now we're going to take this measurement. So we have a buoyant force. The buoyant force up also pushes down. So measure that mass reading as the buoyant force mass pushing down. And record that. We're going to repeat these same steps for the aluminum mass, completely submerge it, and record that, and also its buoyant force mass. Okay, in part 6, now we need to have the brass mass and the wood. So I'm going to put the wood through. So now that we have wood through, I'm going to go ahead, tie the string off, and now we have the brass wood combination. And we're going to lower that in. So we're going to submerge in part 6 only the wood mass and take the measurement. Part 7, we will submerge both pieces. Make sure not to let the mass hit the bottom of the cup. and take the measurement again. Part 8, measure the mass of the wood after it has emerged and towel dry. We're going to try and compensate for some of the water that has been taken up into the wood. Using your measurement tools, measure the diameter and length of this block to determine its volume. Next, we need to make some completely saturated salt water. To do that, we gave you a thermometer. First, we're going to take the measurement of the water temperature. We want the water temperature approximately 25 degrees C. 25 degrees C is about 75 degrees Fahrenheit. The reason for that is, if you were to heat this water and then add salt, you would supersaturate the salt. We want it completely saturated, but not supersaturated. If the water is too cold, it will become undersaturated and we'll have difficulty taking up that salt. So we're going to make a saltwater solution. And that solution is 25 degree salt, 25 degree water, and then we're going to add in salt into that water. And using a spoon, stir it around until you see the salt disappear. Once it is all completely dissolved, add more salt. You are going to keep adding in salt until the salt does not dissolve anymore. And that will be your saturated saltwater solution. Make that in a separate cup and pour that water into this cup when you're going to use it. We do not want to have to account for excess salt in the bottom. We just want the saturated solution. You'll be repeating steps 3 and 4 using either material, the aluminum or the brass. It is your choice. Please see your theory section for how to use those measurements. Thank you.